John Henry was a little baby, sitting on his papa's knee. Well, he picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel. Hammer gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. Hammer gonna be the death of me. Well, that hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord. Hammer gonna be the death of me. Well, the captain, he said to John Henry, I'm gonna bring that steam drill around. I'm gonna bring that steam drill out on the job. Walk that steel on down. I'm gonna walk that steel. Pulling the pin, quitting the road, leaving behind stories untold. My life's giving out, so I'm giving in. Adios, dirty face, I'm pulling the pin. You know, dirty face is the old train. When I was a young boy, living by the tracks, I hopped a rolling freight train and never did look back. I saw the big rock candy mountain looking out my boxcar door. Now I'm just a home guard, can't bum trains no more. Pulling the pin, quitting the road, leaving behind stories untold. My life's giving out, so I'm giving in. Adios, dirty face, I'm pulling the pin. Now I'm living by a freight yard, trains whistle in my ears, looking down the same tracks I rode for 40 years. I smile at the brakeman, wave to the engineer, and curse that mean old railroad bull, laughing through my tears. Pulling the pin, quitting the road, leaving behind stories untold. My life's giving out, so I'm giving in. Adios, dirty face, I'm pulling the pin. My life's giving out, so I'm giving in. Adios, dirty face, I'm pulling the pin. Pulling the pin. Getting off the road, coming home. And that's what today's show on the Songwriter's Notebook is all about. And I'm here with my good buddy, Rachel Bissex, who is usually out on the road too, but she's home right now.
That's right.
And she's going to talk a lot about her new CD and some of the travels she's been doing and songwriting, and it's such a great pleasure to have you back.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
Be here. I'm doing great.
So what's been happening?
Well, lately I've been getting ready to put out this new album and, you know, touring here and there, going down to DC and back a lot in the last
Well, did you do the show at the Kennedy Center, or is that coming up?
I did.
Now, what was that like?
I did. It was pretty awesome. Well, the Kennedy Center is a huge complex. There's a lot of theaters in there, and they have this thing called the Millennium Stage, and it's out in the front of the, it's actually down one of the long hallways. It's like a T, the Kennedy Center, and at the end of each hallway is a stage. And the Millennium Stage is, they have a show there at 6 o'clock every evening, and it's free and open to the public, and so a couple hundred people usually show up, and they do a songwriter night on Mondays, which was the night I was there, and they broadcast it on the web, and you can go look at it at kennedycenter.org if you want to go see it. And then they have it archived under the Millennium Stage.
So you can watch your show at Kennedy Center right there on the internet.
Yeah.
That's
it was
great.
Pretty fun. It was
That's
pretty
great.
fun, and it was pretty awesome to be there the week after the whole disaster took place, which I had, you know, of course. I didn't even think the show would go on after the events of September 11th, and I called them up the next day, and they said, no, we're doing our shows every night. And they started the day after the events, and they've been going every night ever since. The only thing that they're trying to scramble is to replace like people from Morocco who aren't going to come over here now and stuff like that. They have a lot of international groups that play there. So, but it was a wonderful experience, and I went up to the top and looked down at the Pentagon and sat on the Lincoln Memorial steps and cried, and it was actually really a wonderful thing to be in Washington, D.C. that week.
Now, how did this affect you as a songwriter? I mean, we were talking about this before we started the show, and how difficult it is for a songwriter express themselves at a time of such grief that we're all having.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you don't want to seem, you know, sort of like you're taking this as an opportunity to showcase your music, but
Right.
yet inside of you, you're crying out. You want to contribute something.
and everybody does. It's I've heard it over and over again on the TV and radio, performers saying just that, and saying also, you know, I'm glad I'm not a comic, first of all. I'm glad I'm not a stand-up comedian, because it's, you know, that must be really difficult. But music, of course, is a healer, and it always has been since the beginning of time. And when we feel sorrow, we go to music. I do, anyway. I think most people do. So my first instinct was that, you know, the first weekend after the crashes, I said, you know, I'm not going to play this weekend. But as it turned out, I did, and it was a really good thing. The crowds were small the first couple of nights I played, but then they've been building up, and I think that people need the community of music in order to go on.
Exactly. I was doing a show that same week. I was down in New Jersey, and it was one of those house concerts, you know, that we always do, you know, around the
Right.
country. And I was surprised how many people showed up.
Yeah.
And I think that they were looking for music as that healing tool, because you don't want to stop your life.
Well, that's it. That's what these terrorists want. I mean, they want to disrupt us, and they have. But you know, we don't have to wallow, you know, forever in not continuing our lives. We have to continue our lives. So it's more for me. I mean, I haven't written anything. My friend has written something which I'd like to talk about, but I more looked at my set list and said, what songs would help people right now? And those are the songs I picked. As it turns out, I have added verses on 2 of my songs where it was really appropriate. The song called "Oh Jackson," which has a recurring verse, I want to do something, I want to do something. And that's what I've been saying ever since this happened, and so many other people too. So I added a verse to that was...
I think that's an appropriate response. I did the
Yeah.
same thing, is that there's a song that you've already written that you feel that you want to express an acknowledgement to this,
Right.
you know, in you know, sort of in a universal way. That's the
Right.
other thing that we don't want to, as songwriters, you don't want to pinpoint an exact thing and talk
Right.
about something that,
Right.
you know,
Literally and specifically,
you want to, you know, sort of acknowledge that and perhaps do something that will be a universal statement that can really cover a lot of ground. Now, before we start talking about your album, why don't you play a song,
Okay.
something that you
Well,
had?
why don't I do that song? I don't actually even need the
Sure.
guitar for that. This is, it's called "Oh Jackson," and I wrote it, I was riding home from Stowe, one of my nights at home, and the radio was on, and Jackson Browne was singing a song, and he was in his I Want to Change the World point of his life. It was a great song, and it was very inspiring, and I was, and the stars were around me, and the mountains were around me, and I just felt, you know, I want to do something too. I want to change the world. I want to help the world. So it was around the time when somebody had killed a doctor who had worked in a health clinic, the guy in New York, the doctor in New York who had worked at a women's health clinic, and somebody who said he believed in the right to life took him out in his kitchen from the woods. So that was an inspiration for one of the verses. And then I added the verse about this whole disaster at the end. Oh, Jackson, I hear your voice on the radio. Oh, Jackson, you sound so soft and clear. Oh, Jackson, you sing about injustice. Oh, Jackson, you sound so sincere. Oh, I wanna do something, 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 oh. I see the boys in the neighborhood, oh, anger in their eyes, oh. I see the blue lights flashing, oh, no hope in their eyes, oh. I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh. I see them stand at the clinic, oh, they're holding up their signs, oh, want to imprison women, oh, with their pious lies, oh. I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh. I see them, I see the towers crashing, oh, I see the towers burning, oh, don't know why, oh, I see the families hurting, oh, they're falling from the sky, oh, I wanna do something, 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 oh, Jackson, I hear your voice on the radio, oh, Jackson, sounds so soft and clear, oh, Jackson, you sing about injustice, oh, Jackson, you sound so sincere, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I wanna do something, oh, I see the blue lights flashing, oh, I see the towers crashing, oh, I wanna do, I wanna do, I wanna do, I wanna do something.
Wow. That's an amazing song. When you first sang it, when your first, I guess it was one of the first albums that you had out.
Yeah, it's on there too.
It was one of those songs that really caught you. It has so much emotion in it, and right now with the new lines that you added,
which I aren't exactly their lines. I sort of got deer in the headlights there for a moment.
All right.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
with that
matter.
Song,
You're just expressing, the feeling that you have.
Yeah.
And I think that the important thing is that the words keep saying, I want to do something, and you look at your life and you think of all the things that you have done. That, a lot of times that you've been there doing benefits for all kinds of things. It's not lip service.
Yeah, I mean, you feel, when you're a musician, you feel like, well, especially, as we say, with the events that happen, you feel like, well, how important is this really? And especially this CD arrived in the mail. I've been waiting for it for 3 years, and it arrived in the mail a week after this song, and I just went, what does this really matter? But as it turns out, it really does matter, and it really helps people. I've gotten emails from folks that are just so encouraging, and I know I'm doing the right thing. This is the thing I was meant to be doing.
Exactly.
And just so you know, that song also is on this album. It's got it's on a previous album, but it's on this album with Kim and Reggie Harris and Greg Greenway.
Yeah.
It's all a cappella. It's a wonderful version.
Now, let's take a look at your new CD, and it's called Between the Broken Lines.
Yeah.
And it has Starting Over.
Yep.
Right? And Flying Hurricane, Hey Marianne, Sean Connery looks, huh? Mr. James Bond.
Yeah.
I love old Sean
It's
Connery.
actually that song is actually a spoken piece, and it's pretty funny.
Great.
It's a couple of funny things.
Let's just talk a little bit about this. For many years, you were associated with Alcazar, and they were really responsible for getting you a lot of airplay and doing a lot of different things to help launch your career.
Yeah.
And now you've decided with this particular project that you were gonna, as we say, fly solo and do your kind of your own record label. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, it was a wonderful year. My years with Alcazar were wonderful. They went out of business, and so it came time for me to do a new record. And I thought, well, maybe I'd like to find another record company. And for a while, my manager and I looked around, and there's just so many people making CDs now that I thought, why don't I just do it myself? And it's been a great learning experience. Being, I'm a musician that wants to be writing songs and singing songs. I haven't written a song in a long time because I've been trying to market this. You have to become a business person. You have to put on all these different hats and write press releases and get it out to everyone you can. And I bought a mailing list of radio stations, the places I'm going to play in Florida and Texas and the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic and Wisconsin. And so I was busy last week sending them all out. So there's a lot of pieces to it that aren't all that thrilling, but it's interesting to know how the business works. And I really respect somebody like Ani DeFranco, who's done it all by herself all these years, and then she gathered her friends and family around her to become the business.
There's the secret. When we talk about we do this and we do that, it's really not, us alone.
Right.
We have our families behind us.
Yes.
If we didn't have our family's support and encouragement to do this kind of life, you would never be able to do it, or you wouldn't be able to do it as successfully as you have been doing it. Now your husband and your children, what do they mean to you as far as when you're out on the road and you're away from home and you're thinking about your family? What goes through your mind?
Well, I started going on the road when my daughter was about 5, and now she's 15, almost 16. So it's been there were different feelings then than there are now. I was worried about her, does she know where her boots are, stuff like that. I still worry about her now that she's 15. Is she staying out all night? What's going on? But it's a different feeling now. Stephen, my love, my husband, Stephen Goldberg, who is also a famous playwright around Burlington, he's always been there for me in many ways. Not only the fact that he's there in the house with the children when I could go on the road for 2 weeks or however long it was. He's been a big support and a huge encouragement to me. He plays all over this record too. He's a great horn player, and there's a lot of trombone and trumpet on there. But no, I could never have done it without Steve, and my kids' encouragement too. They're kids, so they're mostly concerned with what's going on in their lives, as they should be. But Stephen has just been a rock for me.
Do you have a song about that you've written?
On my first album, there's a great song which I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was about being away from home, but in fact, we're together no matter where I go. And to get back to what you were saying about being on the road and thinking about your family, Bob Franke once said something to me about, when you choose this kind of a life, you are removing yourself. But when you remove yourself, you can't be on the road and pining away for your family. You have to be where you are, and you have to give the attention to the people you're with, whether it's a host family who's putting you up for the night and giving you dinner, or whether it's your audience. You have to be there with them. And then when you come home, you can't be pining away for the road and saying, gee, I wish I could be in California now. You're home with your kids. And it's unfortunate for me that I have so much business right now in my house, and there's papers everywhere and boxes of things, and so my work is takes me away from the family a lot at home right now. But that's always something I remember when I'm missing Steve or my kids, that, okay, this is where I am now, and I'll call them, and I call them, and we talk on the phone, and that's always great. Actually, Emma and I have been emailing each other, and she said we get along better when we email each other than when we're actually face to face.
So we're talking about taking care of business. So let's have you do another song from your new CD,
okay.
And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that are going to be happening this next couple of weeks to promote this CD.
Okay. This is. Let me just adjust this for a second because it's not really clicking.
Yeah,
on.
make sure that you get that on there.
Well, I've got 2 CD release concerts coming up. One is in Plainfield on October 13th, and one is in Burlington on the 20th of October. Hopefully this airs before that, and hopefully you can all come. Here's one of the songs that's meant a lot to the audiences that I've been playing for lately. It's a song I wrote with Tom Prasada Rao. When one voice finds another in a wave of harmony, a stranger with her careful empathy. When the night falls quiet to a million skyful stars, I know I am right there where you are. When one mind meets another in a wave of generosity, when one man holds his brother in his arms of sympathy, when the sun sets the sky into flames overhead, that's when I remember what you said. December's leafless trees reveal the mountain's shoulders. So can we shed the anger that keeps us from each other? Time is tugging, I can't fight it no matter how I try, till I slow down and discover with the eyes of a child all the magic and the wonder in a million grains of sand, and a whole world in that child's outstretched hand. There's a whole world in that child's outstretched hand.
Great. It must have been fun to
Thank
work
you.
with Tom, too.
It was. He's wonderful. He played at the Kennedy Center with me because the woman that was supposed to share the slot with me couldn't make it because of the airlines, and so Tom stepped in and it was great.
Well, let's just talk about all the upcoming things that are happening. Once again, we have October 13th, the Plainfield Town Hall.
That's right.
Plainfield at 8 o'clock.
That's a solo show, and we're requesting a donation at the door, and then there's going to be refreshments. If you pay the donation at the door, you don't get a free CD, but if you pay $15, you get a CD and you get a concert.
All right.
That's how we're working it in Burlington, too.
Now, October 20th, Club Metronome,
That's
and
right.
that's at 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's an early show because they do their club retronome disco thing late at night. So we're
Right.
just going to go from 7 to 9, and
And Steve's gonna be
I'll
there.
have a band with me. I'll have Steve Wienert on the drums,
Uh-huh.
and Will Patton on mandolin and bass, not at the same time, and Stephen Goldberg on the horns and maybe some percussion.
Now, here's a question for you. We don't have too much time, but this is a question I was thinking about. I know that I travel so much that when I come home, it's kind of strange because when you're on the road, you're always, people are excited, that you're in their town, and sometimes they take you out to different places, and then you come home and you're home. We were talking about this before. And sometimes even opportunities that you would get in other places, singing opportunities, don't happen at home. Isn't this true?
Yes, as I've been rejected by First Night Burlington again this year. It's the old story of the poet in their own hometown. I mean, it's been happening forever. People know you and they see you on cable TV, or they see your poster, or they see your name in the paper for whatever reason, and they go, oh, well, I can see her anytime.
That's
maybe
right.
maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll
Who
have to
knows?
wash the car, so maybe next time,
Right. Well, I'm in fact guilty of not going out to see as much music as I should. I mean, there's a songwriter thing that I started actually at the Burlington Coffee House, a songwriter night once a month, and I hardly ever go there even when I'm home. Is it tonight?
Tonight.
Oh my gosh! Well, maybe
Who knows? We might make it.
We
might make it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's always a challenge to because I just want to stay home. When I get home, I just want to stay home and be with my family. And,
exactly.
Or email my son, actually, who I wanted to mention too. He's in Germany. He's in the Army, and so this is a scary time for us. But but we're really actually pretty hopeful that he's not going to get in harm's way. Of course, we don't want anybody going in harm's way. So
this is true.
We can just hope that that John Lennon song is true. We can, if we imagine it.
Right.
If we imagine it, maybe it'll be true.
Well, I think we have enough time for you to take us out with a song. And while you're tuning, I'll do the old plug thing here.
Yeah, please do.
Because it's really important that people out there understand how difficult it is for all of us to make these CDs.
Yeah.
How we go into debt.
Yeah, please understand that.
Please understand that, and if you see these CDs probably at the shows, and then later on you might find them around over at.
They're already there. They're at Borders. They're at Pure Pop Records and Tapes in Burlington. And they're at Bookspieler in Montpelier.
So make sure that you look for Rachel's new CD. The lights are.
You can always go on the
bright.
web too.
www.rachelbissex.com.
Had to do it. Do you have your own website yet?
Oh, yes.
RickPalieri.com?
No, not yet. It's Rick Palieri at homestead.com.
Well, that's a nice one.
Yeah, that's
you
not
got to
too
go
bad.
for the thing, though.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there.
It's easier.
Well, you have a road song, don't you?
This is a road song, and I had another road song in mind, but this one will be better. And this also goes out to my love, Stephen. So I wrote this coming up Route 95. It's about a 10-hour drive from Virginia. I'm gonna drive all night, I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm gonna drive all night, I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm gonna drive all night, I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. Well, goodbye, Virginia, I'm leaving you behind. Maryland, you've been grand, but I'm moving on tonight. Delaware, you're unaware, I'm even coming through. I got Philly on the radio, Gene Shea and Michaela Majoon. I'm gonna drive all night, I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm waving at New Jersey and those lovely sisters share. New York, you're a hell of a town, but I ain't stopping there. Going through Connecticut and my old home state of Mass. Back up to Vermont where I can see your gorgeous. Ask me why I go around and drive from town to town. You see, I got friends everywhere I go. They feed me, they show me around. And ask me how I make it through all those lonely nights. While the boys line up right behind the girls, they want to make me feel alright. They're waiting at the stage door, but I will not appear. They'll see my dust on down the road, hitting all the gears. I'm gonna drive all night, I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm gonna drive all night, I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. Gonna drive all night just to get on back to you. I'm gonna drive all night just to get on back to you.
All right. I think we might actually have time for you to do one more song. Do you think
Really?
you could squeeze something in?
Huh?
No,
that's okay.
The engineer says not this
That's
time.
all right.
But that means that you'll have to come back again. Rachel Bissex, it's always a great pleasure to see you.
Well, thanks
whenever
for having me.
we cross paths. And
Yeah.
all you folks, make sure you go out and take a listen to Rachel at some of the venues.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks.